So first of all, what is your name?
My name is Gina Foster. I am the Assistant Director of the Wilder Child Development Center, and I have been in this position for 5 years. And I've been working in this program as a teacher, family services coordinator, and the assistant director for the past 11 years.
Oh. All right. How many people work with you here?
There are 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 direct care staff, 2 administrators, a cook, and 3 people in roles of management for classroom supports. So 21.
Have you worked at other jobs that involve childcare?
I have. I actually worked, I got my start doing home care. I had an aunt that started up a child care center in 94, and then in 92 and then 94 I went to school for early childhood and worked at the YMCA downtown St. Paul. And then Jehovah Lutheran Church had a daycare inside of there, and I helped the lady Cheryl Michael start that child care up before I took a position here. So.
Cool. How many volunteers do you have with you on an average week?
On an average week, 12. Roughly 12 to 20. We are a program that really values volunteers, and we understand the intergenerational piece. And for our kids, having other people in here, different ethnicities, different ages, different disabilities, is a learning process for them and a growth potential. So on both ends. So.
Cool.
Is there always a steady flow of volunteers?
Typically we do, but for our particular population of children, when we look at volunteers, we're looking for volunteers to make some sort of commitment. We have several types of volunteers. Volunteers that just want to be part of our program because they're not doing much else of anything, and so they choose to be a part of, I want to work with children, so they choose to be a part of our program. Other type of volunteer, we have high school students, and we have a good core for Cretin-Derham does their, I think, not annual, they do quarterly service learning in our program, so they'll come and spend 9:30 to 2 in our program, and the first part is engagement with kids, and the second part is either they're cutting out stuff for teachers or they're doing a lot of in-depth cleaning, like scrubbing chairs in the kitchen and stuff that we don't necessarily have a lot of time. It really helps our program. Then we have community partners such as Deloitte and Wells Fargo that are organizations that choose to do volunteering, and they'll come out and do some big service project, such as Deloitte comes in the spring every year and helps us till up our gardens and plant seedlings for our kids for the garden. And Wells Fargo comes in the fall and helps the kids clean up the gardens and clean up the landscaping and pulling weeds. Sometimes they'll be painting a bathroom or the kitchen or some sort of project, and they'll do some sort of activity with the children geared around that. So, and then we have parent volunteers that also come into our program, and they just want to be a part of what's going on. It might be they feel they want to learn more about child development and what they can do, or just they might have a skill or a particular thing that they can share with us, and they'll come volunteer their time in our program as well.
Okay. Are the parent volunteers, are they parents of the kids, or just parents who want to learn more about kids?
Both. Both. Most of the time they are our parents. We have a lot of first-time parents who are like, I couldn't do what you guys do all day long, and I'm struggling at home. They come to school and they do this for you, but when we get home, it's a different story, and I need help. And our suggestion is to come in and be a part of the classroom and really get to see how it works, so that there's that homeschool piece. And then some of our parents are receiving aid from the county, and they need to do volunteer hours or job search hours, so that a lot of them will choose to do some of that time in our program to fulfill their state requirement needs. So.
Okay. What are the ages of the kids at the CDC?
We have children as young as 15 months and all the way till they go off to kindergarten. So once children go to kindergarten, our kindergarten program, they leave our program.
What is a typical day like at the CDC?
Oh, busy. And never boring. So, typical day. Each classroom has a different classroom schedule, and it's really depending on the age group. The youngest toddler groups, it's a lot less transition, and it's more just hands-on free-for-all play with a couple structured things in there. But when you get into our 3s, our 4s, and our 5-year-olds, we know that children learn best when their days are predictable. So there's a set structure. The kids come in. We open at 6:30. So between 6:30 and 8 o'clock, depending on those kids come in, they're doing active learning, which is basically free play in the classroom. But we call it active learning because teachers are engaged, asking questions and building and scaffolding on that learning. So that play in itself is learning. Then depending on the classroom, either at 8 or 8:30, they're going downstairs for breakfast, and they'll have their breakfast, usually 20 to 30 minutes. They'll transition up, do some cleaning. All of the classrooms, once they come from breakfast, is for teeth brushing in the classrooms. The kids go through the brushing routine. We do a lot of hand washing, toothbrushing, personal hygiene, self-care, things that are really good for making a very healthy, independent being. And then after that, teachers are preparing the classroom. The kids are making choices in the classrooms, usually specified in something manipulative where they're using fine motor. And then they'll come together to do morning message, which is a community circle. So all of the kids will sit down in a community circle. They'll read a story that morning. They'll go through the morning message, which is Good Morning Butterflies. Today is, I talk about the month, the date, and this is they're learning about how to look at calendars, how to count, and talk about what the weather is like outside, and then they'll go into their story and the concept of the day. And then after they've done that, the group will go do some large muscle play, either downstairs in the gym or outside on the playgrounds. It may be a field trip day, and they leave and go for a field trip depending on the classroom. But after they do the large active muscle, large motor play, they'll come back together. But instead of being in a large group, there's 3 teachers in each room. They'll break down into 3 smaller groups of 6, 6, 6. And then whatever the concept is, we're working on building that a little more independently, and we gear kids into the 3 different groups based on where their skill is at. Some kids are beyond that, and we need to challenge them. Some kids need to play catch up because we have a population of kids ranging from spectrums, and so a lot of ELL kids. So we need to make sure that they're getting that learning piece of it. We separate those groups to make sure that they're able to be successful in their learning. And so we attack it that way. So they'll have a snack, and then they'll be doing those conceptual things. And then we have 7 different interest sitters in the room. After they're done with that, during their small group, it's active learning again. And for 45 minutes to an hour, the kids are in the classroom either doing open-ended art, the dramatic play area where they can pretend, block area where they can build and do a lot of stuff around community and building, the book area, lots of sensory tables and Play-Doh, an art easel. There's a science and math area. There's a computer station that has some science and math games on it. So all of those areas are open for kids to sit and explore and really learn. And then during that time frame, teachers are going around and checking in with kids and just talking about what is it that you're making, what are you doing, you know, and kind of correlating it to, do you do that at home, or does somebody else at home do that, or your grandma, and really trying to bridge our community and home into the process of learning. So it's always a learning process for us here. And then after they do that, they'll go and do some sort of outdoor play or large muscle play right before lunchtime. So, because it's structured, and then they go and do something free. And that's how we do it. It's free, structured, so they're able to get their wigglies out. And music is incorporated into our program a lot. When we work partner with McPhail Music Academy from Minneapolis to incorporate music into everything. Kids love music and they thrive on it. So, and we use it specifically at transition times. So a lot of our kids' transitions are very tough for them. So music has been one of those barrier breakers. And then they'll go down for lunch. Typically lunch is, depending on the classroom, 11:30 or 12 o'clock. And they'll sit family style, do lunch, and family style is the food's on the table. They have to use their manners. Please pass this, please pass that. And that's a part of our social skills curriculum, and having kids use their words with friends, be respectful, learn to wait and take turns. And so they're passing things around. And then they'll do their lunches. They'll do a wish. We wish for peace, food, and happiness to everyone all over the world. And then when they're done with lunch, they bust their dishes, preparing for what they'll need to do in kindergarten, so they're learning to sort and all that other stuff. And then after lunch, they'll go potty, wash, might be a story, and then it's nap time. And nap time is roughly 1 to 3. 3:30. Most all kids are up by 3:30, but some kids nap as little as 20 to 30 minutes, and some need a 2.5-hour nap. You know, some parents say, I only want my kids to sleep 2 hours, and that's all we go. So, and then after nap, they'll wake up, they'll have a snack, and then like the morning starts. So it's less structured than in the morning because kids are a lot more fresh in the morning. Kids can take in more. But after nap, they'll do some story time.